Winter Olympics is just around the corner. In fact, at the time of this recording, we have about 4 days before the start of this event. So I flew 8,000 kilometers from Melbourne to Beijing, China, just so I can bring you the latest goodness of tech that's happening right now, not just in the Winter Olympics, but in the China general space as well, because I'm super excited when it comes to tech. And if that's something you're interested in, feel free to subscribe. And I promise all of my reviews are honest, unbiased, and that I'm not being paid to bring these because I'm just super excited myself when it comes to tech. Now let's look at some cool tech that's being implemented in the Winter Olympics to really give you that immersive experience throughout the games, especially during such times that we're experiencing right now. Okay, these are not in any particular order, so not a top 10 ranking list. It's just a list that I put together and I want to share with you. So let's start with number 10. By the way, I share daily texts as well as Q&As on my Instagram, so if that's something you want to get in touch with or talk about, feel free to follow. Okay, starting at number 10, this is the Winter Olympic Village. Now, having a place to stay is nothing special. All the athletes have their own dedicated dorms or accommodations, and in fact, this time they've provided such great accommodation during the pandemic. It really helped facilitate the whole flow of the Olympics for the athletes, and I think being responsible from the committee as well. Now, the dorm is actually quite spacious. From the outside, it looks like just a normal residential area. This is newly built. Everything is fresh. Now, inside, all your necessary amenity is available. What I want to point out here is the bed itself. It's so-called a smart bed. Of course, you have the normal memory foam that's applied to the personnel, so it's catered for your body type. Only that, the beds are equipped with sensors. The bed is accommodate any type of posture or fixed back per your liking. It's also linked with your alarm clock. So through your smartphone, it's able to wake you up through vibrations in the bed to really kind of give you a subtle wake during your REM sleep. Another cool thing is, if you're like me, sometimes we snore during the night, it actually raises the headrest a little bit so that you adjust your posture, helps with your breathing, and it removes that snoring. It doesn't affect your friends or your athletes around you during that really important sleep that you're getting at night. So that's really cool, right? And of course, each bed is equipped with massage functions. So if you have a tired day and you just want to loosen up, you have vibrations, massages that's available throughout your body. And of course, all the pillows are memory foam as well. And the blankets that you use, look at the detail. They've actually included all the different type of events that's going to happen during the Olympics printed across the blanket. So that's kind of cool, the minor details. Reminds me of the PlayStation case with all the little logos that's imprinted. So these little final details just does it for me. Since we're on the topic of blankets and athletes, let's talk about personal wear and apparels. Now, each Olympic athlete is equipped or given a smart jacket or a hoodie. Given that it's kind of fairly cold, it's obviously waterproof and keeps you warm, thermal temperature all up there. What's really cool about this, it comes with sensors. So you have the ability to put in a thermostat as well as other sensors to really monitor your body temperature as well as a heart rate and anything that's abnormal. And you get a live update whether on your phone, and that can be sent across to your coach or whoever that needs to have access to. Look, I think they're really being responsible, taking care of the athlete as well as the people and the other competing athletes around in the community. Now let's talk about getting around the village as well as going to your venue. Now, athletes have the option of attending an unmanned vehicle. This is super cool. Now, we had this in the Tokyo Olympics as well. There were some incidents, unfortunately, but this have been tested many months in advance. In fact, they've traveled over 150,000 kilometers by these vehicles already before they were actually released and launched into this program. So I think fingers crossed. I'm not saying nothing's going to happen, but let's hope. It looks like everything is going quite smoothly right now. But it's good to see these unmanned vehicles being implemented in situations like this, and I think we're going to see more and more, especially in small villages or communities or low distance travel commutes, that we're going to see more unmanned vehicles, which is great, right? It's good for the environment as well as cutting costs. So fingers crossed. Now, speaking of unmanned travel, let's talk about how would you get around the 3 different Olympic venues here in the Winter Olympics. There are actually 3. There's one in Beijing, there's one in Zhangjiakou, and there's one in Anqing, all of which are covered by a fair bit of distance. Now, how do you travel between these? And in response for the journalists and athletes to quickly travel between these areas, they've built a railway track, one of the fastest railway tracks in the world actually, 350 kilometers an hour through these different venues. Now, what's also really, really cool is that to be able to produce not only a smooth experience, you would also have to connect 5G network while you're on the train. And to do that, now for those people who don't know 5G and 4G and 6G, the way the wavelength travel is different, right? as we go up in Gs, 5G and 6G, we need more and more communication towers to cover the area, all right? So that makes it difficult, especially given how fast the trains are traveling, to have a smooth, consistent experience. Huawei is really behind this and building the 5G network here in China, and that's expected to really facilitate the 5G plus experience, they call it, to really have a really smooth onboard experience, consistent bandwidth, as well as the ability to stream and even VR experience of the competition that's happening around you. And the cool thing about it is the train is unmanned as well. So obviously there is supervisors as well as attendees on the train to cater for the athletes or whoever that's on board, but the train can travel on autopilot back and forth in an automated fashion. So that's cool. For the first time in Olympic history, we are using 360 degrees VR to telecommunicate the whole Olympic experience. And I think that's super important and a great leap forward in the film industry, right? Given the pandemic that we're experiencing right now, a lot of people cannot attend. So they try to really give you that immersive experience, and what better way to do it through VR. All the venues are equipped with 360 degrees high quality digital cameras. So you're able to face track all the athletes per your desire through your little remote control, I assume through your goggles or through your some kind of app, and you can actually 360 degrees view the whole experience the way you like it, from the angle that you want, without any dead spots. That's right, they said there's zero, and I mean literally zero dead spots throughout any of your venue during the competition. So that's something I'm super excited to test, and all of this is happening real time. I assume when I say real time, maybe there's a couple of seconds of delay, but it should be happening fairly consistent as the competition is going on. They quote, "It's actually better to watch the Olympics through your VR goggles at home than it is for the first time at the venue." I doubt that, but I think this is just a marketing pitch, but I think this is a great technology. Now let's talk about the venues. Now having the Olympics in your country is obviously great. It brings in economy, it brings in people, but sometimes, the stadiums are left as it is or just not being used or utilized after the Olympics, and I feel like that's kind of a waste. So thinking of environmentalists and reusing recyclable material, so to say, the venues are now being refurbished for the Winter Olympics. Now, there are obviously some obstacles when it comes to reinventing the stadium when it was first designed to be used for the Summer Olympics. For example, the Wukesong Sports Stadium, which is actually held for the local national basketball, have now been transformed into the ice skating rink. Now, the entire transformation only takes 6 hours, so I'm quite amazed at how quick the turnaround is. And of course, the water cube that you see in the Beijing Olympics, where they had the swimming events. Now, people thought that having the swimming pool transform into an ice rink would obviously require you to put cement into the pool. Now, what Beijing have done is they've drained the water and actually implemented a stage underneath inside the pool itself. And then on top, they have this temperature control flooring where you can actually lay ice on top without it being melting. It keeps everything consistent and smooth, and you're able to reuse the surface. So this way, at the end of the Winter Olympics, they can remove the ice and you can actually jump back into the pool during summertime. So this pool is actually available to the public, being used every single day, every single weekend by the local or the community of the people in Beijing. So it's great to see things are being reused and not going to waste. Now, what's more impressive is the ice ribbon stadium that's built specifically for the Winter Olympics. Now, it really represents the China construction and building industry at its pinnacle. Now, being the largest in Asia obviously has its difficulties. Its 1,200 square meters ice skating ring needs to be cooled. Now, in order to reach carbon synthesis, the ice ribbon ring is the first of its kind to use carbon dioxide ice-making technologies with zero carbon emissions on such a large scale. It's also worth mentioning that the excessive heat that's generated from the cooling system can be recouped and then reused as hot water system for the athletes, which is expected to save around 2 million kilowatts of electricity per year. This is the first time in Olympic history that all venues through the games are 100% green electricity. Now, this includes the indoor bobsled team, which is the third largest in Asia, as well as one of the most largest and difficult to build national jumping centers. Now, speaking of the national ski jump, this is the world's highest ski jump platform that's available right now. And in terms of its technology, its incline elevator travels up to 5 times the speed of a normal incline elevator. Especially at such heights, it's quite impressive. And during summertime, this can be easily converted into a summer venue session for local games or extreme sport that's available not just for locals, but everyone to enjoy. So I think that's really well thought of. Finally, but not least, this is probably what got me most excited, is the robotic that they use throughout the venue, especially during where you have your meals for the athletes. Now, in the dining area, a lot of athletes are spending more time taking photos and videos rather than really enjoying their meal when they realize a lot of their food are made and delivered by automated robots. Everything is prepared in a see-through glass window and by robotics and robotic arms, and then it's being delivered on these automated trays through the rooftop, and then it's dropped down onto your table per your order. You can make the order right there on your table by scanning the QR code and then just order whatever you like, and it will be delivered to you right from the roof. Who says meatballs don't drop from the heavens? It's just not just one dish. There's a variety of different dishes. You've got clay pot rice. I'm not sure if you had them. It's actually super delicious, where everything is cooked and steamed in a high pressure pot. You've got your normal fried rice. You've got burgers, fries. So West meets East, and technology just brings it all together for you.